But in the startup world, that's not possible. I mean, you basically have one max two salesperson, and it's the founder of it which needs to be able to close the first deals.
So founders, I mean, Urs' advice here is crystal clear. If you're not a good salesperson, make sure you have someone in the team who can handle the pressure of being the salesperson, but you have to become a salesperson or your company won't grow. Another one of the seven samurai that I wanted to introduce you to. It was my great pleasure to finally meet Urs Bolt when I first joined up with F10. He's a social media star in the fintech scene. He helps and promotes a lot of the startups. And I wanted you to maybe introduce yourself. Where did you come from and how did you get to this mentoring gig?
A systematic sales is a big challenge for many young talents building up, starting their own first ventures, but also the experienced people which might be like 30 years experience, even 40 years. So I really cover the whole different generations, and one of the challenges they always tell me is how can we go to market and find new clients in a more systematic way. So it actually leads back to whatever you phrase it. You need a pipeline management, and if you know exactly what your product is, what the target group is, what are the characteristics, what is your value proposition, what are your wow effects of this, and you know how to position it, it still needs execution to define it, to do the characteristics, etc. But usually it's always far too big and they overestimate their market potential. So if you really drill it down and say, okay, what is the easiest way to get into the market? So where are the lowest possible entry points? And then it usually starts already become obvious. Oh, oops. That market might be smaller than we expect, but you need to start somewhere, you need to focus on that. You need to obviously use all the different connections to your target client, and you need to make sure you know who is the decision maker. I mean, someone at the end needs to sign. You basically can start with a meetup. Now, is the meetup the right place for your target group? That has to be looked at, but it's always good to have some geeks and nerds in these events, and hopefully some of them are your ambassadors or cultivate the topic.
And go back and help you find the needle in the haystack. The person
help
with
you
authorization
or
to
demonstrate the needs and the pains and the possible solution, just that the whole dialogue gets going. But you have to be careful, they might be the people on the features and functions level and not the ones deciding. Mm-hmm. But these could also help you to bring to the people who will at the end be responsible.
Make those decisions.
And make those decisions.
So the purchasing manager.
So you always need to have a total view of your target clients. And if they're not, then you should better, be nice with him, but talk to the people who are at the event. You know that you want to actually work with them.
But you used a term that a lot of people won't know. So what does it mean to qualify a lead?
Qualifying is to map it against your criteria of target client. Do they have exactly that issue, and that they're not having an issue which you believe you could solve, but you actually target now to deliver a product and not just a service, which is then a bespoke service. You have to make sure you stay within that area where you actually want to create a software product.
So you can actually create a sale there and sell your product.
Which then leads to more sales because you define in the beginning what clients you want.
So qualified as they need this exact thing that I can.
Yes, then that's more the technical side of it. All the other areas do they have a budget? Are they really interested and keen to actually solve their issue, or are they just listening around and try to sneak around and learn from your ideas? At the end, not actually want to close a deal. Because I would definitely do so too. Now, if you're responsible for business development, then maybe you want to do it every morning as early as possible, depending on your target client, because some of them you reach easiest at 7 a.m, even these days, when the whole things move to later hours. And others might be, them, that you can reach them at 8 p.m, some over lunch, I don't know. If you want to be successful, I mean, that's where the successful SMEs are best. Sell it and deliver against your proposition and your and your promises. That can take from, I would say, 3, 6, 9, 12 months, 18 months. It depends on the complexity and how can a buyer on the corporate side, a corporate buyer, actually integrate it into his processes and technological landscape. Eager and disciplined enough also to ask the hard question. What's in the way to close the deal? What do you need that you can sign the contract? Because you also need to be able and brave enough to let it go if it doesn't come now. Just to bring it to the point where in your view, but also with asking explicit questions, that the client actually says, there's nothing in the way. And if he then still doesn't sign, there are other factors which are not technical. Mm-hmm. It could be that someone believes if your solution will be deployed in that environment, that he loses credibility or power.